Om Vasudevasutam Devam Kansachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Om. Adorations to Lord Krishna, the preceptor of the universe, destroyer of the forces of darkness, bestower of immortality. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, in chapter 3, known as Karma Yoga, Yoga of Action, verse number 8. Niyatam kuru karma tvam karmajayo ya karmana sharira yatrapi chatena prasidhyeda karmanaha. Therefore perform your duties in daily life. For action is better than inactivity. By being inactive, you cannot even maintain the needs of the physical body. Just to remind you that Vedic scriptures speak of three paths. Path of action, called karma marga. Path of devotion and meditation, that called upasana marga. And path of knowledge, called jnana marga. The Vedic marga, the path, that relates to rituals. Vedas give so many rituals. I will not go into detail. But karma marga, pursuing religious rituals, that is brought into another higher level when you gain insight into karma yoga. Rituals are designed to help you to have a profounder understanding of action and its implications. So there is a big difference between karma marga, the path of action, ritualistic action, and path of karma yoga. This verse I have just recited, it means, therefore, perform your niyat karma in daily life. Niyat karma is a significant term, ordinarily interpreted as duties. But the fact is, as you live your life, there is a flow of karmas called pravaha patit karma. You wake up early in the morning. You do not know what type of duties are going to present themselves before you. I don't have to detail upon it because we have lived through so many things. But no matter how things present themselves, you need to perform your duties as and when they come. Pravaha patit, just like a river is flowing on. If you want to take bath in that river, just get into it. Do not think of the water that I bathed in yesterday, where has it gone? Those waves that sported with me, where are they now? You simply enter into the river as you find it. Enter into your daily life as it unfolds. Give you further details. There are three types of responsibilities that present themselves in daily life. subjective, called adhyatmic. What should be your mental disposition, your attitude? Objective, how things are going to unfold or present themselves in front of you. The objective world is not under your control. It's called Adi Bhautik. Objective world includes friends, foes, all types of people you meet. Even animals and birds. You started early in the morning, were well set within yourself. That's adhyatmic. Subjective disposition has been settled in your mind. But it's not going to stay. You enter into the world as you begin to interact with people, do your job or whatever. So many things you are going to face that you didn't calculate. And the first point that is being highlighted is don't feel contradicted. Don't be in disharmony. This type of work I should not do. Why did it come to me? You opened your door and suddenly some bird falls down right in front of you dead. Can't go on saying this shouldn't have happened to me. Nobody gets like that. What harm have I done to anybody? Nothing at all. Compose your mind. The duty has to be done. Somewhere you see a spark that will cause fire. You simply go ahead and extinguish it. Many similar things present themselves. A cat meowed, it's hungry. If you have compassion enough and time enough, then feed it. I'm making a joke. It's called all niyat karma, pravaha patit karma. Don't feel contradicted because of this niyat karma. So many things continue to happen. As I was talking about three things, subjective, objective. Third one is called act of God. You started and suddenly wind started blowing. Storm is in the making. Lord Hari has come with his cane. Free cane. So be ever ready to handle your responsibilities, to perform any duty that presents itself to you. Do not sit back, inactive. Action is far better than inactivity. By being inactive, you cannot even maintain the needs of the physical body. Simple point to understand that it's God's great blessing that everyone is led to be busy, doing actions by thought, word, and deed. If you are not led to do any action, imagine what will happen to your mind. Empty mind is the devil's workshop. No matter what type of stress you hold in your mind, what type of anxiety or worry, put yourself in the flow of action. And it gradually gives you a sense of detachment from action. Remember, 2 points. When stressful thoughts come into your mind, try to separate yourself from that stressful mentation. Alag रहना, separate, and develop a vertical vision. Alag and upar Hindi words. Separate yourself and go to a higher level and look at it. You are able to go to a higher level if you continue to do your duties. See, when you involve yourself in work, you are separating yourself from whatever has been gnawing in your mind in the form of worries. And while you are doing a vertical vision, there is an objectivity develops. You look back and suddenly you realize it's not as bad as it sounded, as bad as it appeared. And then that stress melts away. But if you did not have anything to do in life, anything to do on that day, then whatever stress has started in the morning will stay. And it will hatch. And you may say to others, I've been meditating today in peace. Because meditation is better than anything. Not involved like you, it's worldly things. Uninvolved. Try to understand this is called mithyachar. It's a false conduct. Because you are more aloof from the world if you are involved, doing your duties in an orderly fashion, with skill and with interest. Interest not in an egoistic way, with a sense of delight, with a sense of worshipping God through whatever action presents itself to you. It's a part of your sadhana. God created this big world, and He created many little things, little problems, but they're all precisely well fitted in the divine plan. So we talk about mithyachar. Mithyachar means false conduct. A person assumes inactivity, doesn't do anything, sits down and takes up his mala or sits on I'm going to spend this whole day in meditation. It appears that the person is enjoying peace. And also the person wants others to know that I am enjoying serenity, peace. But that is not really so. You are holding a big burden in your head. And your head is getting crushed. So this is called false conduct, mithyachar. Another word we use is shrestha achar. The ideal conduct is to face the challenges, to face the activities, and be ready with joy, with a sense of spontaneity. A child is ready always to walk around, move around. It's a spontaneity. In order to attain enlightenment, do your duties in such a way that Chitta Shuddhi, purity of heart, is attained. The flow of action that comes in your daily life, they are the best means of putting your heart to rest, allowing your heart to be free of malas, gross impurities, anger, hate, etc., etc. What's known as Chitta Shuddhi. There are many implications. If you do not do your duty, someone else needs to become involved in what you should have done. So you are creating a form of disharmony. Doing one's duty in a right manner is called udyog. Udyog means lifting yourself to a higher level. For more pervasive and profounder understanding, there are three types of styles people adopt in their life: bhiksha, udyog, and chori. Bhiksha is begging. Udyog, doing your duty. Chori, stealing. Your activity, your action should be directed towards how much can I serve society without expecting much from people, expecting little, absolutely little, but doing a lot. Living your life with all your effort to lift society, help society, serve humanity. And that service itself is more fulfilling than earning money through your service. When that type of spirit has developed, then bhiksha. All that you are living is by alms. You may not practically do that literally, but that's the philosophy of bhiksha. You are simply receiving little alms, and your life moves on doing good things. On the contrary, Rajasic, Tamasic people, lower grade people, they don't like to do any duty, but they like to have the result. We don't want to get involved with doing any planting, etc. But we are ready to get the harvesting. When the produce comes, you want to get it. In other words, this is an attitude of doing little and let others do for you. And when they have worked out something, then we just claim it. That's called chori vritti. Even though are not stealing, but this is called stealing in philosophy. And the third type is doing your duties with the expectation of a reward. Reward that's just moderate. You are not greedy, just want sufficient so that you can go on doing your duties. So bhiksha, udyog, and chori, three words to be understood. Bhiksha vritti Your whole heart is interested. How can I help these people? Not interested in counting. If I help so many people, how much am I getting? Chori, how can I get maximum, having done minimum? Proper type of action, getting exactly kind of a normal, so that you have sufficient means, so that you can go on doing your duties well. Yagyarthat karmano nyatra loko yam karma bandhana tadartham karma kaunteya mukta sangha samachara. Only those actions bind a person which are not performed for the sake of yajna. Yajna is a mystical term. Simple meaning is action that is not performed with the spirit of doing good and with the spirit of purifying the heart. Twofold. The ritualistic form of yajna means you create a fire. You pour certain materials into it, and those herbal materials, they begin to burn, and incense begins to spread. Gross is sacrificed and subtle essence emanates. That's called yajna. Gross within you is to be sacrificed. As it is sacrificed, a sublimation takes place. Mala becomes converted into something great, sublime. You sacrifice your anger, and love emanates from it. You sacrifice the animal within you, and the divine emerges out of it. To the masses, this is very difficult to understand. To animals, you can easily see them. So sacrifice relates to the masses, actually catching hold of animals, deer, goats, and all, whatever you think of, and sacrificing them with mantras and all that. But sages allowed people to at least start thinking about sacrifice. It's the kindergarten of spirituality. The real purpose behind it, how to catch hold of the animal within you and sacrifice it brutally. Sublimate it. The twofold tendency in a human being. Tendency towards becoming more and more animalistic, more and more demoniac, or Asuri movement. When you have Asuri movement, your mind becomes accustomed to begin an action with irritation. Sanskrit word is ugra. Irritation that becomes more irritable. Ugratar. Then becomes exceedingly angry. When you see that, say, oh, he's a vigorous person, he's a wonderful actor. See person agitated, tense, so working hard. That is not the Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga is where you handle a difficult situation with a gentle face, with serene mind. Situation has become worse than you thought. Become gentler. It's becoming still worse. Become gentlest. Samya, sabyatar, sabyatam. Adversities, challenging situations, instead of driving your mind to great agitation, should allow your mind to become more and more gentle, serene. These ideals can't be easily practiced, but they have to be understood. If you want to attain God realization, you want to really enjoy the profounder purpose of life, avoid mind's dissipation of energy over irrational tension, anger, hate, and build up a process of mind that enjoys, even in the midst of agitating situations, enjoys serenity, goodness of heart, good-heartedness. And when situation becomes more difficult, you become more gentle. Because gentleness is your remedy. One pill of gentleness didn't help, take 2 pills. Take high dosage. Perform your duties with the spirit of yajna. Karmas will not create bondage for you. Because karmas create bondage by producing their fruits. And if the mind is only looking for the result of your action, your heart continues to be in a state of turmoil. Karma Yoga implies your focus is more on purifying the heart, allowing the heart to be free of agitation. Naturally, your heart becomes a kind of a shrine. You are invoking God, you surrender to God, good feeling, goodness of the heart, many great qualities begin to develop. So that is your greater goal than whatever may happen as a result of your physical action. But there again, you have to have the trust. Things that you are doing with good-heartedness, they will bring out a greater quality of result than you can imagine in a positive way, without your worrying about it. But if you simply focused on how can I finish the work and see the result, then you will not be able to do the work in the best way possible. Your result will not be as you expected. As well as, if whatever you may get as a result, your heart is not free, not joyous to enjoy it. Therefore, your mind will say, let me do more. You move away from the real purpose of life, an inward coolness in your heart, a sense of inner relaxation, a joyous experience of invoking God within your heart. Have a good party. Therefore, O son of Kunti, perform karmas without attachment, with dexterity. Dexterity means with skill. If you are doing something, do it well. Put your heart, mind and heart to it. And you do it for the sake of yajna, for the sake of bringing a change in your personality, a profounder enrichment. Every karma, every action well done has enriched your heart in a special way. just like devotees feel, go to the temple, every worship they have done has added to their merit, added to their spiritual enrichment. But that's ritualistic aspect. In a broader aspect, you are always doing worship of God through your actions. And every action that presents itself, if you have done it well, you are pleasing God. Result, your heart will feel relaxed. Your mind will not be cluttered. You will have inspiration, not so much perspiration. And a positive disposition draws positive situations. Put it in another way. We use the two terms, swarth, paramarth. Doing things for selfish purpose. That's swarth. Everybody wants to. Doesn't matter whatever may be consequences. I want to be happy. This is the way I want it done. And behind every action, what am I to gain out of it? Another word, paramarth. In between the word is used pararth. How can I be helpful to others? If that attitude will develop and you begin to enjoy that type of attitude, have I done good to someone? Has this day have been enriching to me because I have been a source of service? Someone has been served. God in others have been served by me. If you have that spirit, that's called pararth. Another big name is paramarth. Your actions are being done for a profounder purpose. If this attitude has developed, things that are needed by you, they will come to you. That is not, you are not sacrificing. The best of enjoyment will come to you, inner peace, a joyous heart, an open window in your heart that reveals the glory of eternity. In simple terms, actions should be performed with Chitta Shuddhi as the priority. Chitta Shuddhi, purity of heart. If Chitta Shuddhi is not your goal, then every action that you do is creating a bondage, creating a problem. Sahayagya praja srishtva puro vacha prajapati anena prasavishyadvamesha vostishta kamaduk. In ancient times, the Creator, having created Yajna, along with all beings, said, may you prosper with the help of Yajna. May sacrifice yield all your desires. Allegorical writing. A similar statement comes in the Upanishad that Creator Brahma was ready to give his blessings to three representatives of his creation: God, human being, and Asura, a demoniac being. God, human, and demon. And all the three representatives came before Brahma to receive his instruction. And Brahma simply said one word, not even a word, a letter, Da. And he asked God personality, what do you understand? The God said, I understand, O Lord. You said, Daman. I must always be intent upon keeping the mind and senses under control. That's my project. I said, yes. Then turns to human representative. Yes. See, this aspect of talk was in private. So human being doesn't know what God answered. And said, the human being, do you understand? He said, oh yes, Lord, oh Lord. Da means dhan, charity. We must always do good to others. Be good, do good. The best of instruction for human level. And then turn comes of the demon. And Brahma says, Da. And asks the demon, do you understand? And the demon said, yes. You want us to develop daya, mercy, compassion, turn away from cruelty. And Brahma said, yes. Now, all the three have to blend in every individual. Every human being has all the three blended. The God within you, if you want to be more and more godly, have a profound plan to discipline your mind and senses, to cultivate divine qualities, move away from vices. Daman, that's your mantra. Go on controlling, mastering. And the human aspect in you, build it up with charity. How much can you help others? In so many ways. And that will allow the human aspect in you to flourish. And the demon aspect in you, the message for the demon aspect is to be compassionate. The more and more compassion, instead of moving with that ugratar process, being violent and more violent and more violent. Turn around. More compassion, more compassion. Thereby you are sublimating the demon within you and transforming the man within you, human within you, into God. And that should be the general plan of a yogi. Then you are real karma yogi. Similar statement has come into the Gita. In ancient time, the Creator having created yajna. Yajna is the spirit of sacrifice. As if he created yajna and yajna is sitting there with some form that is allegorical. He created yajna and he told all people, look, may you prosper with the help of this yajna. May this sacrifice yield all your desires. The meaning behind it. Live your life, do your duties in such a way that the lower self within you is sacrificed. Sacrificing a lower self is correcting a short-circuited energy. Anger, hate, jealousy, all these are short-circuited. If you sacrifice them, you have corrected the short circuit. So anger, jealousy, and hate, they have become sublimated into divine qualities. That's called sacrifice. In a cartoon manner, you see catching hold of the neck of the anger, neck of jealousy, neck of hatred, sacrificing them into the fire. And out of that sacrifice emerges spirit of love, spirit of virtue. That's the type of sacrifice scriptures talk about. Not just become involved in just rituals. And that's the subtle meaning behind sacrificing the animal and sublimating the animal, the demoniac, into divine. Once that spirit has entered into you, then you are living for yajna. And once sacrifice has become a source of your inner enrichment, this spirit of sacrifice will yield all your desires. All your desires will be fulfilled. From a relative point of view, you will entertain desires that are sattvic automatically. A positive mind will have a positive type of desire. And you are being led to absolute desirelessness. When all your desires are fulfilled, what happens? You have no desire. Still you have desire, that means they are not fulfilled. Absolute tripti, absolute contentment. Your mind has been given to you so that you can think your way to thoughtlessness. Desire your process in such a way that you attain desirelessness. Desire for desirelessness. Think for thoughtlessness. Use your mind in such a way that it is blown away. The spirit of yajna is the key to absolute fulfillment. And spirit of yajna simply means be good, do good. Work upon it day by day. You will be led to absolute fulfillment. But if this spirit of yajna is not adopted, then you are as if a thief. Ishavasyamidam sarvam yat kinchit jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bhunjita hamadrida tasya svidhanam. Ishavasya Upanishad says, all this in this world is permeated by God. Therefore, tena tyaktena bhunjita, renouncing your I-ness and mindness, enjoy. Renounce and enjoy. What are we renouncing? You are renouncing the not self. You renounce that which you are not. Ma gridha kasya svidhanam. Do not go after the wealth that doesn't belong to you. All the material objects, all the material attainments, worldly glory, all this doesn't belong to you. Ma gridha, do not let your mind covet power, glory, fame. And thereby, by renouncing this aspect, the aspect that doesn't belong to you, enjoy. You are a ray of God. And a ray can be one with God. Essentially, you are the God. With that revelation, I am that, attain the highest enjoyment. But by building up the illusion of me and mine, you are going after things that are unreal. They don't belong to you, they don't befit you, they don't become you. Going after all this, that's the real greed within every individual. Ma gridha. Do not develop that vulture type of greed. Sanskrit word gridha and English word greed have the same basis. Gridha means a vulturous vision, going after things that are decaying, things that will perish. That's what the gridha is after. Vulture is after decaying things. When a mind goes after things with tremendous attachment, egoistic illusion, you don't realize all these things are perishable. You may get a lot of necklaces, lot of diamonds, and ultimately what happens? Your sons and great-grandsons will go on showing to others, look, this belonged to my parents, my grandmother. This is great-great-grandmother. And therefore, develop the spirit of sacrifice, moving away from things that are not you, which do not belong to you. And that becomes possible if you do karma yoga. Serve, love, meditate, realize. Om Shanti Shanti.